Good afternoon, everyone. We have reached the end of the second edition of the Central American Space Conference, and I'm here with two members of the organizing team. Can you please introduce yourselves a little bit?
Well, thank you. My name is Leonora de Lemos. I'm professor at the Universidad de Costa Rica, and I am a member of the committee.
Thank you, Remco, for being here. We appreciate you giving exposure to this Congress, the Central American Space Congress. My name is Luis Zea. I'm the founder of Jaguar Space and also a member of the organizing committee, and this year I had the honor of chairing it.
So we're at the second edition here. The first edition last year was in Costa Rica. Can you tell us a little bit about why you took the initiative to organize this series of conferences?
Yeah, thank you. This initiative starts in Paris during IAC 2022 because the four of us were there and we saw that there were a lot of people from Central America that are coming to that event. So we decided to do something for our region, and we thought that we can start with a small event. We thought we were expecting about mostly 60 or 80 in the best way, and we received the first time more than 400
Yep.
people. So it was a success from the beginning. So we said we need to continue.
Okay, so the idea for the second edition only came after the first one, based on its success. So what is the objectives for CEC?
Yeah, as Leonora mentioned, something that we have in common, the 6 members of the organizing committee, is that we've noticed the lack of opportunity there is in Central America and Latin America, to be honest, to get engaged with space. There's very few participation of Central Americans in IACs, and IAC is a great forum to exchange ideas, find collaborations, and move space forward. And what we try to do is bring that to here. Instead of trying to bring all the people over there to countries that folks here can't afford go to, then we brought it here. And I think following on the statistics, the fact that we had 8 space agencies here in Guatemala, from Africa, from Asia, from Europe, from the Americas, over 440 people, 45% women participation, 55% students. It is a really good combination of government, industry, civil society, and academia. And we couldn't be prouder, I think. At least, I don't know about you.
Obviously, we are very happy with those results.
Yeah, no, clearly. You also organize this event in Spanish. It's an international event organized in Spanish in a local language, which I think is very important if you want to really make an impact here. Of those space agencies, I'm going to be a little bit critical. Only one of them was from Central America. Only the Space Agency of Costa Rica was here. All the other ones were from abroad. Now, that's not necessarily bad because, of course, space is a global endeavor. Space depends on global collaboration, but there's 7 Central American countries. Only one space agency was there. So how do you see the role of the space agencies here in taking these opportunities that you talk about?
I think that's part of the importance of this event, because what we are trying also to do with that is try to motivate and to generate the data for the governments and for the countries instead, and that they can see that is important because we are developing very nice things, very nice events, and we are as a region capable to take more roles in aerospace industry.
Okay. No, I think that's a great point, Ramco. The fact that there's only one Central American Space Agency here is not because we didn't invite them or we invited them and they chose not to come. It's because that's the only one, and that's one of the reasons for which we're doing what we're doing. We're not trying to prescribe that each country shall have its own space agency or how to do it, what they should focus on. What we're trying to do is elicit and enable that conversation between all the parties, for, as I mentioned, civil society, industry, academia, and government, so that it can be a grassroots decision to be made.
Well, and that's what I like about this, and that's also the reason why I asked, because what I see here as an example for many other countries around the world, not just in Central America, Latin America, but also in Asia and Africa, is nowadays with new space, you don't necessarily need the government to start these initiatives and to bring in these opportunities. So how does this conference facilitate that?
Oof, that's a tough question. because we always been thinking that we need the three parts of the hélice, but the truth is that we can push with the academia and also with the industry. We can go and push, and they have to be in the wave, as a way to say it. But actually, the environmental is going to taking care of that. So I think they are not, in fact, they are not being so involved in both of sex, but I think that they must be thinking of, and it's part of what we are trying to do here. I don't know.
Yeah, a fun fact from the first SEC is that the first two sponsors were Central American space startups. So in fact, although we don't have a policy in place in Central America to help these companies grow, be established, first of all, it's already happening. And what these conferences like SEC does is give them exposure, first of all. It helps them find customers abroad. And otherwise, it's a two-way avenue, right? It also helps. There's a lot of companies in the United States, Europe, and otherwise that want to engage Latin America, but there's no one-stop shop for doing that. And usually, it's cost prohibitive to send somebody to one country for maybe they will close the deal, and then the other country, and go over 20 countries. And one thing that the Central American Space Congress does, although it's called Central American, really the expand the range that it has with 21 countries present is way more than, it goes beyond Central America.
Excellent. So let's look into the future a little bit. We've seen a very successful first and second edition. Are we going to see a very successful third edition?
I think we can stop because we are waking up a lot of people, and we are waking up this movement, these spaces, and I think we have to continue with that. Now we are going to take maybe 1 week or something to think about it, and we are going to define how are we going to continue. But I think that that's a point of no return.
Yeah, I would definitely agree, because if I see the success here, I mean, you had over 400 people in the first one, you had over 400 people here, you had massive participation of sponsors and supporters from all over the world in a way, but mostly from the region. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the next editions, plural, taking place. There's 7 countries in Central America, so that's the first 7 years is guaranteed.
There you go. It's as Leonora said, this is taking a life of its own. There is a lot of interest. We were just like our minds were blown for the first SEC, where we expected 50 and we had over 400. It just keeps going, and like folks reach out to us saying, how can we be part of that? How can we go there and engage with your audience? And we never expected that. There was a need for this, and we're happy to be helping make that connection of Latin America with the rest of the world.
And we have to have you here again with us.
Yes.
Well, thank you for the invitation. You also saw it. If at all possible, I will be here, because this is too important. This is a message not just to Central America, but this is a message to the world. And it's a message about opportunity. And the opportunity exists in 200 countries in the world, no longer in just a handful. But if the opportunities exist here in Guatemala and Costa Rica, in all the Central American countries, they exist anywhere. And that's the message to all people out there. You no longer have to work for NASA to be active in space. And I think this conference showcases that like no other one that I've seen so far. So thank you very much for organizing. Thank you very much for having me here. The honor was all mine, and I'm totally looking forward to joining you again at CEC2025, and hopefully in a few months we'll know where and when exactly that will be. But the website will stay in place, I take it. So follow cecspace.org. The announcement will be there and on all the social media channels. All the information about this conference, hashtag CEC2024, and I'm already looking forward to hashtag CEC2025. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Remco.
Thank you for being here. Thanks for the exposure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.